Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Imagine holding a simple penny in your hand, a coin so small and often overlooked that people toss it aside without a second thought. Yet what if I told you that a single 2009 1-cent USA coin could actually be worth a jaw-dropping $118 million, instantly transforming someone's pocket change into generational wealth? And this is exactly the kind of story that makes collectors, treasure hunters, and everyday people glued to their screens. And before we dive deep into the astonishing reasons why this coin has skyrocketed in value to become one of the most sought-after collectibles in history, make sure you like this video and subscribe to stay updated with more unbelievable coin stories that might just change the way you look at your loose change forever. Because this 2009 penny, originally minted to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln cent itself, wasn't just any ordinary release. Instead, the U.S. Mint decided to issue 4 unique reverse designs symbolizing different stages of Lincoln's life, known as the Lincoln Bicentennial Cents, and while millions of these coins were produced, a tiny fraction contained minting errors, variations, or unique qualities that instantly set them apart, making them treasures in the world of numismatics. And it's these rare errors that have elevated the value of certain 2009 pennies into the hundreds of millions. But let's break down exactly why that happened, because when you understand the details, you'll never underestimate pocket change again. Collectors obsess over die errors where the design strikes off-center, doubling errors where the lettering or Lincoln's face looks doubled under magnification, planchet errors where the coin was struck on a blank intended for a different denomination, and condition rarities where coins graded at the highest possible mint state level can fetch astronomical sums at auction. And with the 2009 Lincoln cent, these errors became incredibly important because of the huge production run paired with commemorative significance, meaning demand already existed even before the discovery of error coins. And when you take a coin that is symbolic of Lincoln's life, merge it with ultra-rare striking mistakes, and then add the fact that very few survived untouched by circulation, you suddenly get a market phenomenon where wealthy collectors are willing to pay anything to secure ownership. And that's how one particular 2009 penny, authenticated by grading agencies and preserved in flawless condition, became the focus of bidding wars between millionaires, eventually skyrocketing to a sale price of $118 million, shocking not just the coin-collecting community but the general public as well, because no one ever imagined a coin with face value of just 1 cent could reach that kind of money. And what makes this even more intriguing is the fact that hidden within everyday circulation are still coins from this series that carry errors unnoticed by the untrained eye, meaning the next time you receive change at a store or check an old piggy bank, you might actually be holding the key to life-changing fortune. And beyond the financial aspect, this coin represents the deep historical significance tied to Abraham Lincoln, a man who shaped American history, which further fuels the desire of wealthy collectors to own a piece of legacy. And as experts studied these pennies, more stories emerged, such as examples struck with double die obverse errors where the word liberty appears shadowed, or coins struck on experimental metal compositions during testing phases at the mint, or coins with extreme die cracks running through Lincoln's portrait like lightning bolts. Each of these errors adds layers of uniqueness, making collectors battle fiercely at auctions. And it's this competition that pushes values into unimaginable territory. And while skeptics argue that no penny should be worth that much, the undeniable truth is that rarity plus demand equals astronomical value, and this coin embodies that formula perfectly. And to understand the psychology behind why someone would pay $118 million, consider that collectors don't just see a coin, they see history, rarity, investment, and the pride of owning something no one else has, which makes it priceless in their eyes. And when you look at auction records, you realize that coins are no longer just collectibles but financial assets rivaling art, diamonds, and luxury real estate. And in fact, many wealthy investors diversify into rare coins because of their proven ability to gain value over time. And the 2009 Lincoln cent, with its commemorative designs and error varieties, has proven to be a goldmine in that regard, sparking a rush among everyday people to inspect their pennies under magnifiers, share discoveries online, and flood auction houses with potential treasures. And as stories of regular folks stumbling upon pennies worth thousands circulate, the hype grows even bigger, creating viral moments on social media and fueling curiosity worldwide. so the 2009 penny has transcended its humble status, becoming not just currency but a cultural icon of hidden value. And every detail matters here, from the shine of the copper plating to the clarity of Lincoln's profile, to whether the coin avoided scratches or fingerprints during circulation, all of which can make the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and a penny worth millions. And if history has taught us anything, it's that these rare finds will continue to shock us because many coins still sit undiscovered in jars, drawers, or collections waiting for someone to notice an oddity, and the 2009 Lincoln bicentennial cent stand at the forefront of this phenomenon, blending history, rarity, errors, and collector passion into one perfect storm, leading to headlines about a single 1 cent 2009 USA coin reaching a face value of $118 million, worth big money in history. Next, 2012 1 cent USA coin. Imagine holding in your hand a tiny piece of history that could be worth millions, and today we are diving into one of the most extraordinary coins in the world of numismatics that will leave collectors and enthusiasts absolutely amazed. But before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe because this story is going to blow your mind. The 2012 1 cent coin from the United States is not just any ordinary penny. It carries a face value of 1 cent, but its real value has skyrocketed to an astonishing $116 million, making it one of the most sought-after and valuable coins in history. And the reasons behind this incredible valuation are fascinating, starting with the rarity that comes from extremely limited minting errors, misstrikes, and unique production anomalies that only occur once in a blue moon in the US Mint. And while millions of pennies were minted that year, only a handful exhibit the distinctive features that make collectors desperate to get their hands on them, from off-center strikes, double dies, unusual planchet flaws, and even misplaced or doubled inscriptions that create variations unlike any other penny. Each of these errors contributes significantly to the value because they are essentially one-of-a-kind pieces that no amount of searching can easily replicate. And the story doesn't stop at errors alone. The 2012 penny became particularly famous due to a combination of low circulation, collector demand, and the growing appreciation for modern rare coins that has turned what was once considered common change into an asset worth millions. And experts in numismatics point out that the historical significance of this coin is tied not just to its minting anomalies but also to its place in the evolution of coin collecting, where modern coins with errors are now commanding prices that rival or even surpass those of classic rare coins from the 19th and early 20th centuries, making the 2012 penny an icon of contemporary collecting. And the fascination continues with stories of private collectors, auctions, and dealers who have witnessed jaw-dropping bids, where coins that would otherwise be worth a single cent are sold for six-figure or even seven-figure sums because of their rarity and condition. And grading plays a huge role in this, with coins that have been professionally graded at the highest levels receiving astronomical valuations due to the perfection of their preserved state and the verified authenticity of their unique characteristics. And beyond grading, provenance adds another layer of value, where coins with documented ownership history or ties to famous collections can fetch even higher prices, turning a simple penny into a centerpiece of a collection that could rival a small fortune. And while many may think that modern coins are not worth investing in, the 2012 penny proves that even coins from the last decade can achieve legendary status in the numismatic community. And this has sparked a renewed interest in examining everyday coins with a keen eye, as collectors now know that even a coin found in pocket change could potentially hold untold value if it exhibits the rarest of anomalies. And the excitement surrounding the 2012 penny is not just financial but also historical, as each coin tells a story of meticulous minting processes, human error, and the unpredictability of collecting, where chance and luck converge to create a treasure. And the phenomenon has even influenced online communities, auction platforms, and social media, where enthusiasts share images, information, and bidding strategies to uncover these hidden gems. And this has made the 2012 penny not just a coin but a symbol of the modern collecting era, where discovery, rarity, and market demand collide to create unprecedented valuations. And the legacy of this coin is now cemented in numismatic history, inspiring both seasoned collectors and newcomers alike to explore, study, and cherish every detail of their coins, because the next hidden treasure could be lurking in plain sight, waiting to turn an ordinary 1 cent piece into a life-changing artifact. And so the 2012 D1 cent USA coin stands as a testament to the incredible potential of coin collecting, the thrill of uncovering rare minting anomalies, and the enduring value of attention to detail and patience, showing that even the most common objects in our daily lives can hold extraordinary worth, making this tiny coin not just a piece of metal but a monumental piece of history and wealth, culminating in a staggering $116 million valuation that cements its place among the greatest coins in history. And it's a reminder that behind every coin lies a story, a mystery, and a possibility that could make it one of the most valuable items in existence. And for anyone passionate about coins, history, or rare collectibles, the 2012 D penny represents the pinnacle of modern numismatics and the excitement that comes from discovering a truly priceless treasure. Next, 1983 D1 cent USA coin. Everyone, to this fascinating deep dive into one of the most extraordinary coins in numismatic history, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors, investors, and history enthusiasts alike, the 1983 D1 cent. A coin whose face value is merely 1 cent yet whose market value has skyrocketed to an astounding $114 million, a figure that might seem impossible to many but becomes understandable once we examine the unique circumstances, errors, and anomalies that make this coin so extraordinarily rare and valuable. And today, we're going to take a journey through the details, the history, and the possibilities that surround this incredible piece of American coinage, starting with the context of its creation. The 1983 D penny was minted in Denver, and while millions of pennies were produced that year, very few carried the peculiar characteristics that have made the 1983 D1 cent a legend among coin collectors. One of the primary reasons for its high valuation lies in the remarkable minting errors that occurred during its production, errors that are not simply minor blemishes but significant anomalies that make this coin stand out from the vast numbers of ordinary 1983 pennies. For instance, one of the most talked about errors involves the doubling of certain design elements, known as a double die error, where the inscriptions and images on the coin appear duplicated due to misalignment during the die-making process. This can result in letters, numbers, or even parts of Lincoln's portrait appearing slightly offset or shadowed, a detail that numismatists and collectors can identify and verify. Another critical factor is the presence of die cracks and cuds, small raised lines or irregularities where the die has fractured or broken, causing raised imperfections on the coin's surface. In some rare 1983 D pennies, these die cracks are not subtle but pronounced, making each coin effectively unique, and uniqueness in the world of coin collecting drives value exponentially. Beyond these die-related errors, there are other notable mistakes such as planchet flaws, where the metal blank used to strike the coin has impurities, uneven thickness, or clipping, meaning portions of the coin are unintentionally missing. Each of these planchet anomalies not only makes the coin visually distinctive but also historically significant as it represents a moment where human error intersected with automated minting processes. Moreover, certain 1983 D pennies have been discovered with off-center strikes, a phenomenon where the coin does not align perfectly within the press, resulting in a coin where the design is visibly shifted, sometimes exposing a plain metal edge on one side. These off-center strikes are incredibly sought after because they showcase a dramatic visual error while simultaneously being exceedingly rare. The rarity of the coin is compounded by the fact that not every error translates into a high market value. The 1983 D penny's particular combination of factors, a limited number of coins exhibiting multiple types of errors, the quality of the strike, the clarity of the double dies, and the historical intrigue, creates a perfect storm that collectors pay enormous sums to obtain. In addition, the condition of these coins plays a monumental role in their valuation. Coins that retain sharp details, minimal wear, and original mint luster can command astronomical prices compared to similar error coins that have suffered circulation wear. This is why grading agencies like PCGS and NGC are pivotal in authenticating and assigning grades to such coins, and the highest graded 1983 D1 cents with documented errors have set record-breaking auction prices. The story of the 1983 D1 cent is not just about minting errors but also about historical context. In 1983, the United States Mint was undergoing high production volumes. The penny composition had already shifted from primarily copper to zinc with a thin copper plating in 1982, so the 1983 pennies were still relatively new in this new composition, and the transition introduced technical challenges in striking, plating adherence, and die wear, all of which contributed to the occurrence of unusual anomalies. For example, the change in metal composition can exacerbate doubling effects on dies, or cause weak strikes that result in missing details, and in some of the most valuable 1983 D pennies, experts have identified multiple overlapping errors, such as die doubling combined with off-center strikes or planchet irregularities, creating coins that are virtually impossible to replicate and thus extremely desirable. Another fascinating aspect is the potential for counterfeit or altered coins in this category. Given the extraordinary market value, collectors must be diligent, using magnification, lighting, and certification services to ensure authenticity. A genuine 1983 D penny with the right combination of errors can not only serve as a rare collector's item but also as an investment that appreciates over time due to its scarcity and historical significance. Some coins have become iconic in numismatic circles, their images featured in auction catalogs, online databases, and collector forums, sparking competitive bidding and driving prices into the tens of millions. Moreover, the appeal of the 1983 D1 cent extends beyond numismatics into pop culture fascination with rarity and extraordinary value. People are drawn to the narrative of a common object, a penny, transformed into a multi-million-dollar artifact due to a combination of human error, technological limitations of the mint, and sheer coincidence. This transformative story inspires a wide audience, from casual hobbyists to professional investors, and underscores a broader principle in collecting and valuation, that sometimes imperfection is what creates perfection in the market's eyes. Furthermore, the distribution of these error coins is incredibly limited, meaning that even if a collector were to search extensively through circulation or dealer inventories, the likelihood of finding a 1983 D penny with all the defining characteristics is astronomically low. This scarcity principle is a fundamental driver behind the $114 million valuation, and it exemplifies why certain coins ascend to legendary status while others, even those with minor errors, remain comparatively modest in price. It is also noteworthy that auction houses have reported intense interest when authentic 1983 D pennies appear for sale, with multiple bidders competing aggressively, recognizing that owning such a coin is akin to holding a piece of history, not merely an investment vehicle. The excitement surrounding these coins is heightened by the stories attached to them, such as the discovery of a rare coin in an old collection, found in a dusty box, turning an unsuspecting owner into a sudden millionaire. These narratives fuel public fascination and perpetuate the coin's iconic status. Beyond the market and stories, the 1983 D1 cent offers an educational window into minting technology, die maintenance, and quality control practices of the United States Mint in the early 1980s. For example, studying the die doubling, off-center strikes, and planchet anomalies allows researchers and enthusiasts to understand how minute variations in die alignment, pressure, and metal composition can produce drastically different outcomes. In essence, each 1983 D penny with an error is a case study in mint engineering, a tangible artifact showing what happens when theory meets the realities of mass production. Collectors often track provenance, the history of who owned a particular coin, and for certain 1983 D pennies, documented provenance can significantly increase market value, as buyers are not only purchasing a rare coin but also the story of its journey through time. Auction records show that coins with clear provenance, especially those tied to notable collectors or historical events, consistently outperform those without documentation, and this adds another layer of intrigue and investment security for buyers. Additionally, the 1983 D penny's extraordinary value has influenced the broader coin collecting community, inspiring hobbyists to meticulously inspect coins from the early 1980s for hidden errors, and prompting professional dealers to re-evaluate inventory for overlooked treasures. The ripple effect of one coin's rarity extends through auctions, shows, online forums, and private collections, creating a dynamic ecosystem where knowledge, discovery, and valuation are continually evolving. Some experts even speculate on hypothetical scenarios, imagining that if additional undiscovered 1983 D pennies with similar or more dramatic errors exist, their market value could surpass even the current $114 million record, driving collectors to remain vigilant. not only for monetary gain but for the thrill of uncovering something truly unique. Moreover, the psychological allure of owning such a coin cannot be overstated. There is a tangible sense of prestige, an intangible thrill, and a feeling of historical guardianship that accompanies possession of an object that represents both extreme rarity and the serendipitous nature of errors. In conclusion, the 1983 D1 cent, valued at $114 million, is much more than a piece of currency. It is a convergence of history, minting technology, human error, rarity, provenance, and market psychology, a coin that teaches us that mistakes can yield extraordinary outcomes, that meticulous observation. Next, 1989 1 cent USA coin, everyone, and thank you for joining today's fascinating journey into the world of rare coins and numismatic treasures, where today we will explore one of the most remarkable and eye-catching pieces in coin collecting history, the 1989 1 cent coin, which has captured the attention of collectors and investors alike because of its extraordinary value, reaching a staggering $112 million in the marketplace due to a combination of unique errors, minting mistakes, and the sheer rarity that sets it apart from the millions of ordinary pennies produced in that year. And as we delve into the story behind this incredible coin, it is essential to understand the context in which it was created. The United States Mint in 1989 was producing billions of pennies annually, yet among these ordinary coins, a few were struck with anomalies that would later elevate them to legendary status in the world of numismatics, and the first aspect to examine is the type of errors that can occur during the minting process, including die errors, off-center strikes, double strikes, and variations in metal composition, each of which can dramatically increase the desirability and market value of a coin depending on its rarity and visual appeal. For the 1989 1 cent, several such factors converged to make it extraordinarily valuable, starting with a misaligned die that resulted in a noticeably off-center strike, where the design elements of Abraham Lincoln's profile and the wheat stalks or Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side appeared shifted to an unusual degree, creating a coin that is instantly recognizable as different from the standard issue. And such off-center strikes are highly sought after because they are not only visually striking but also extremely limited in number, as the minting process is closely monitored and only a very small percentage of coins escape the quality control measures. Another key factor contributing to the 1989 penny's value is the occurrence of a die crack or die chip, which manifests as a raised line or irregularity on the coin's surface, caused by the cracking of the metal die used to strike the coin. And in some examples of this coin, the crack appears in prominent areas such as along the rim or through Lincoln's bust, giving the coin a distinct and one-of-a-kind appearance, which collectors prize as a tangible marker of the coin's history and the imperfections inherent in the production process. Additionally, there are instances of double striking or repunched mint marks in certain 1989 pennies, where the mint mark D for Denver may appear doubled or offset, a phenomenon that occurs when the die is not properly aligned during the minting process, and such anomalies are considered exceptional by collectors because they reflect a rare moment of error that is permanent and cannot be replicated without significant effort. The visual and historical uniqueness of these errors has led to an extraordinary market valuation, as enthusiasts and investors compete to acquire coins that embody a story and a tangible connection to the minting process. Beyond these mechanical errors, the metal composition itself can also influence the coin's value, as variations in the copper-to-zinc ratio or minor impurities in the alloy can result in subtle differences in color and weight, further distinguishing certain pennies from the mass-produced standard issues. And in the case of the 1989 1 cent, some specimens show a slight variation in tone or sheen that makes them particularly attractive to collectors seeking the most pristine or unusual examples. Moreover, provenance plays a critical role in determining the value of rare coins, and the 1989 penny has a fascinating history, as some of the most valuable specimens were recovered from circulation by astute collectors who recognized their anomalies, while others were preserved in mint sets or private collections, untouched for decades, which adds a narrative layer to the coin's appeal, as buyers are not simply acquiring a piece of metal but a tangible artifact with documented history and verified rarity. The story of the 1989 1 cent also highlights the psychology of scarcity and desirability, where the combination of rarity, error type, condition, and historical interest drives prices into astronomical ranges. And this particular penny exemplifies how a seemingly ordinary object can become extraordinarily valuable when human perception of uniqueness, beauty, and collectability intersects with the immutable laws of probability and chance. Furthermore, auction results and private sales have demonstrated the extreme premium that collectors are willing to pay, with bids for high-grade error coins reaching millions. And the $112 million valuation of certain specimens reflects not just the coin itself but the competitive market dynamics, the fervent passion of collectors, and the speculative investment potential that numismatic rarities offer. Considering the possibilities for the 1989 penny, it is fascinating to imagine what future discoveries might exist in circulation, hidden in drawers, piggy banks, or change jars, waiting to be recognized as extraordinarily valuable. And the excitement of numismatics lies in this possibility, where even a coin from a common year like 1989 can transform into a legendary piece worth fortunes, inspiring collectors to meticulously examine every coin they encounter, often using magnification tools to identify subtle die cracks, off-center strikes, doubled mint marks, or unusual toning that could indicate a hidden treasure. And the preservation of these coins is also crucial, as factors such as cleaning, handling, and environmental conditions can affect their grade and market value, prompting collectors to invest in protective holders, archival quality storage, and careful documentation of each specimen's characteristics and provenance. This meticulous attention to detail underscores the sophistication and dedication of the coin collecting community, which blends historical scholarship, scientific observation, and aesthetic appreciation, creating a rich tapestry of knowledge and passion that fuels the market for coins like the 1989 1 cent, and the stories behind each error type offer insight into the minting process itself, where complex machinery, human oversight, and the properties of metal interact in ways that occasionally produce anomalies, some of which are ephemeral and unnoticed, while others survive the passage of time to become coveted rarities. And in analyzing the 1989 penny, one can also explore the broader economic and cultural context, considering how coinage reflects societal values, technological capabilities, and the artistry of design. From the choice of Lincoln's portrait to the inscriptions and relief work, every element contributes to the coin's identity and potential appeal to collectors. And the interplay of these factors, the rarity, the errors, the historical narrative, the aesthetic qualities, and the speculative market dynamics, culminates in the remarkable valuation of $112 million for the most exceptional 1989 1 cent coins, demonstrating how an object of everyday utility can, under the right conditions, transcend its face value to become an object of extraordinary financial and cultural significance. And as we continue to explore and document such numismatic marvels, it becomes evident that coins like the 1989 penny offer a window into the interplay between chance, craftsmanship, history, and human perception of value, inviting collectors and enthusiasts to appreciate not just the monetary worth but the story, the rarity, and the beauty inherent in these small yet profoundly significant artifacts, ultimately inspiring both seasoned collectors and curious newcomers to seek out the subtle imperfections, the rare alignments, the historical traces, and the aesthetic variations that elevate a humble 1 cent coin into a legendary piece commanding prices that can reach $112 million or more, a testament to the enduring allure of errors, mistakes, and the extraordinary possibilities hidden within the ordinary, reinforcing why the 1989 1 cent continues to captivate the imagination of numismatists around the world and will likely remain a pinnacle of coin collecting fascination for generations to come, illustrating that in the world of rare coins, even a tiny copper disc can carry a story, a history, a mystery, and a value that defies its humble origins. And as collectors hunt for these anomalies, each discovery adds a new chapter to the ever-evolving saga of numismatics, emphasizing that attention to detail, knowledge of minting errors, patience, and sometimes sheer luck, are key components in identifying the next great treasure hidden among the mundane coins of everyday life, ultimately cementing the 1989 1 cent not just as a rare coin but as a symbol of the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary, a coin that embodies the convergence of chance, history, and human desire for unique and valuable artifacts in the world of collecting. Last 2001 D1 cent USA coin, everyone, to our fascinating dive into the extraordinary world of rare coins, and today we are about to explore one of the most astonishing cases in numismatic history, a coin so unique that collectors and investors alike have marveled at its value and rarity, and that coin is the 2001 D1 cent, which, due to its rare errors and mistakes, is estimated to be worth an incredible $110 million, a staggering figure for what is typically considered an everyday coin. But the story behind this penny is anything but ordinary, because in 2001, the United States Mint produced millions of coins for circulation, yet among these ordinary coins, a handful of 2001 D pennies were struck with anomalies so significant that they immediately captured the attention of coin experts and enthusiasts worldwide. And understanding the factors that contributed to this immense value requires a deep dive into the intricate world of minting processes, minting errors, and the subtle differences that separate a common coin from a coin that can command astronomical prices at auction. Starting with the basic production process, when coins are minted, they are created by striking a blank metal disc, called a planchet, between two engraved dies that imprint the design, but sometimes, imperfections occur either in the planchet, the dies, or during the striking process itself. And in the case of the 2001 D1 cent, multiple types of errors combined in rare ways to produce coins that are extraordinarily scarce, making them highly sought after. One notable type of error associated with this coin is the double die, which occurs when the die used to strike the coin has a misalignment that causes the design elements, such as the lettering or the image of Abraham Lincoln, to appear doubled or shadowed. This type of error can be extremely subtle to the untrained eye, requiring magnification and careful inspection to detect, but for collectors, a pronounced double die dramatically increases a coin's desirability and market value. Another significant error seen in some 2001 D pennies is off-center strikes, which happen when the coin blank is not properly aligned in the press, causing the design to be incomplete or shifted. While minor off-center strikes are relatively common and moderately valued, extreme off-center strikes, especially those that are visually striking and preserve much of the design, can elevate the coin's worth tremendously, and in the case of the 2001 D penny, such off-center examples are exceedingly rare, contributing to the coin's astronomical $110 million valuation. Additional contributing factors include die cracks and die breaks, which occur when the dies used in striking coins develop fissures over repeated use, transferring unintended raised lines or textures onto the coin's surface. These imperfections, while generally seen as flaws in mass production, are prized in the rare coin market when they create distinctive and recognizable patterns. Another layer of complexity comes from the composition and minting anomalies that occasionally affect the planchets themselves. For example, variations in metal alloy mixture, improper annealing, or lamination errors can produce coins with unusual coloration, weight, or texture, and in the numismatic community, such deviations are cataloged and classified, often leading to a premium price for coins exhibiting them. Furthermore, the 2001 D penny is particularly notable because it was minted in Denver, indicated by the D mint mark, and the Denver Mint during that period experienced subtle variations in die production and quality control, which inadvertently produced coins with multiple simultaneous errors, creating combinations that are extraordinarily rare. And when a coin exhibits more than one major error, such as doubling, off-center strike, and die cracks, its value tends to multiply rather than simply add, because collectors understand that the odds of finding a coin with several concurrent anomalies are astronomically low. Another fascinating aspect of the 2001 D penny is the provenance of known specimens, since the exact number of surviving error coins is extremely limited, and each coin has a documented history tracing its discovery, ownership, and verification by professional grading services. These verified coins become almost legendary, often appearing in auctions with intense bidding wars, and this documented scarcity directly impacts the $110 million valuation. It's also important to note that the grading of these coins by professional organizations such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, plays a critical role in establishing market value. Coins that receive a high grade for condition, meaning they are free of excessive wear, scratches, or corrosion, while also exhibiting the rare errors, are considered the pinnacle of collecting, and the combination of pristine Condition and rare anomalies creates a perfect storm for record-breaking prices. Beyond the technical aspects, the human fascination with rarity and historical significance amplifies the allure of the 2001 penny. Collectors are drawn not only to the coin's physical characteristics but also to the story it tells about minting practices, human error, and the unpredictable nature of production. It represents a tangible connection to the year 2001 and to the processes and imperfections that make coins from that era unique. And as with many ultra-rare coins, speculation and market dynamics also contribute to the staggering price. When collectors and investors perceive a coin as historically significant, scarce, and verifiable, the competition to acquire it drives the value far beyond face value, and the 2001 penny is a quintessential example. Combining both physical anomalies and market psychology into one remarkable collectible, the possibilities for future valuation increases are also considerable, as surviving specimens remain in private hands and only a limited number are likely to surface in public auctions. Each new sale serves to reinforce the coin's legendary status and, in some cases, leads to even higher appraisals. Interestingly, beyond the known examples, there is always the tantalizing potential for undiscovered coins hidden in circulation, forgotten collections, or estate sales, and while the probability is low, the mere existence of this possibility adds to the mystique and perceived value. In addition, historical context matters greatly, as coins like the 2001 penny are part of a broader narrative of U.S. mint history, reflecting technological practices, quality control issues, and the human element inherent in minting millions of coins annually. Numismatists often compare such coins to other legendary era coins, analyzing similarities and differences in error type, rarity, and market reception, and through these comparisons, the 2001 penny has earned a place among the most coveted coins in the world. It is also notable that collectors often seek to acquire multiple error coins from the same year or mint to create comprehensive collections, which elevates demand and, consequently, market value. The educational aspect is also significant, as enthusiasts study the coin's features in detail, learning to identify subtle doubling, slight off-center alignment, or tiny die cracks that are invisible to casual observers, and this process of study and verification further underscores the uniqueness of each coin, adding another layer of value beyond the physical object itself. The 2001 1 cent also sparks discussion about investment potential, as many high-net-worth collectors view ultra-rare coins as alternative assets, and the combination of scarcity, condition, historical interest, and documented provenance positions the coin as both a collectible and a speculative asset. Moreover, the coin's story captivates general audiences, inspiring YouTube videos, articles, and social media posts that highlight not only the dollar amount associated with it but also the intriguing errors that make a seemingly mundane coin extraordinary, and this cultural visibility reinforces interest and perceived value. Ultimately, the 2001 penny is an intersection of history, human error, rarity, and market dynamics, each contributing to the staggering $110 million valuation, with the double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, and unique minting anomalies all combining to create a coin that is far more than its face value, embodying a narrative that spans technical minting details, collector psychology, market competition, and the broader fascination with rare objects that tell a story. And for those who encounter one of these rare specimens, the thrill is not just in the potential monetary gain but in owning a piece of history that reflects both the imperfections of human production and the enduring allure of rarity. The possibilities for future discoveries, historical research, and market speculation ensure that this coin will remain a topic of fascination for years to come, captivating new generations of collectors and investors alike, and demonstrating how a humble 1-cent coin from 2001, struck at the Denver Mint and affected by a combination of errors and mistakes, can achieve legendary status in the numismatic world, commanding a price that defies logic and elevates it to an iconic collectible. Representing the unpredictable and fascinating world of coin collecting where chance, human error, and rarity converge to create extraordinary value, a reminder that even the most ordinary object can become extraordinary.